Good morning, friends. This is Devin Gupta, Chartered Accountant this side, partnered with Kritam Advisory, is going to present the impact of this budget 2022 on the startup community from the direct tax and indirect tax point of view. Although there are changes which is going to impact the day-to-day operations, as such, there is no such incentive is being offered for the startup sector. However, but there are compliances impact which the startups need to be taken care of. So we are going to first take care of the direct taxes. So point number one, that TDS need to be deducted on the perquisite or benefit offered. Presently, the companies give the perquisite to the employees, which is taxable in the hands of employees, or benefits offered to the employees. However, the new provision has came up, which says that if you offer any kind of a benefit or perquisite to the any person, right, exceeding the 20,000 rupees, then you need to deduct the TDS at the rate of 10%. We have taken an example. Let's say we have given the free flight tickets to the sales distributor or to the distributor for achieving the target. Now, since he is getting these free tickets, so here the law says that this is the kind of a benefit which is being passed on to the person, and here the company need to deduct TDS at the rate of 10%. The second, which is a significant impact on in the startup sector in terms to the taxability of the virtual digital assets. Virtual digital asset, in simple words, we will say that cryptocurrencies which is being traded off, or the NFT transfers which is being taken care of. Now the company any company, not the company, any individual need to pay the tax at the rate of 30%, and the cost of acquisition is allowed as an expenditure. However, no losses can be set off, or no losses can be carried forward arising on account of the income from virtual digital asset is allowed. Additionally, individual who is making the payment to a recipient need to deduct the TDS at the rate of 1%. And under section 56, they have inserted one more clause that if you have sold that any VDA, virtual digital asset, less than the fair value, then that will be treated as an income in the hand of the recipient. The next impact of the budget is more on those startups who got the certificate or planning to obtain the certificate from the interministerial board for getting their profit exempted for 3 years out of 10 years. The law here has extended the period of incorporating the startup from April 2022 to April 2023. So if you are a startup and your turnover is less than 100 crores and you got incorporated in the year between the year 2016 till 2023 and apply for a certification from interministerial board that your startup is an innovative startup, then a startup can claim the profit exemption for 3 consecutive years out of 10 years. This is not for those startups whose turnover is more than 100 crores. So next relief is given by, I think it's a clarification more like that all the expenses incurred by the employer towards the employee in connection with the COVID relation, that all is not considered as an income of the employee. In fact, if in the occasion of a death, any contribution made by the employer or a group of person for their employee, in fact, that is also not considered as an income of the recipient. There was one view which is going around that whether the taxes paid, surcharge paid is allowed as an expenditure in the books of accounts or not. It has been now clarified that this is a tax which is being paid to the authorities. So this is not an income. This expense is not allowed as an expenditure to the company. Now, if any startup has failed to file the return, now they can file the return to the extent of 2 years. For example, let's say they have not filed the return for the assessment year 2020. So they can file the return till the assessment year 2022 for their income tax return. And additionally, individual or company, private limited, whatever it is, they need to pay additional tax of 25% if it is the return is filed within 1 year from the end of the relevant assessment year, or 50% tax within 2 years. Now we are going to talk about the impact of this budget from the GST front, right? The first thing is that the good part what they did is that the time limit to avail the input tax credit has been extended from 30th September to 30th November, as well as the credit notes. So in simple word, the company has failed to claim the input tax credit for the year 2021 2022. Now they can claim their credit instead of 30th September of the 2023, they can claim the credit till 30th September of 2024. Second thing is that it's a very I should say it's not a relief or it's a pain area for any company or any startup, that if your vendor has not filed the return and if that amount is not reflecting in the 2B, then you cannot claim the input tax credit on that amount paid. So it is now suggested that instead of making 100% payment to your vendor, you hold the GST amount, and once that vendor will show reflect the GST amount in the return, then you will make the payment. Now, there are many times we have seen in various startups that they have claimed the incorrect tax and they have utilized that incorrect tax in the form of ITC. Now, the law is clarified that if the company has utilized that input tax credit, then company need to discharge additional interest of 18% on account of incorrect or wrongful availment of the input tax credit. Now, this is again a, I should say, relief that if there is a cash balance lying in your Delhi branch and you want to transfer that cash balance to a Mumbai branch, earlier the regime says that you need to file a refund, and that again is a lengthy process. Now, what the department has clarified that you can now transfer that credit from Delhi branch to a Mumbai branch. I think these are the significant major broader aspect which we tried to cover from the startup community. And in case you have any kind of a query or suggestions or you need any clarification, feel free to reach out to me on my email ID devan@creatum-advisory, or you can write to info@creatum-advisory.com. My numbers is also there. Thank you everyone.